I've always wanted to be a mother as a little girl. That was always my thing. I've wanted to have a huge family. I've always pictured myself with at least 6 kids, just a big house of family. So motherhood is really a part of who I am and that's my personality. I love kids. So I'm only at 2 right now. But motherhood is it's just a journey of learning, continuous learning. I give my kids so much, but they give me back so much more. And it's also a journey of duality in terms of I'm so full when I'm still so tired, but I still always have so much to give. It's the passion and the love behind motherhood that just keeps me going and keeps me able to give and live in that duality. It's that duality of being frustrated, but still knowing how to love and be gentle, being gentle and being strong. At the same time, it is just giving that unconditional love and learning so much more about myself during on this journey, motherhood, just the different ways I can love, that unconditional love. And I did experience that when I was pregnant, my first pregnancy. I did have a really good pregnancy with my older son, Jelani, but I really felt that unconditional love when I had him. And I had a little bit of fear. I remember when I just had him and I was in the hospital bed, I was like, oh, he's here, now he's mine. Okay, I guess we have to do this. It was a little scary, but then just nature took course. And as I said, that's really who I am, who I've always wanted to be in terms of when I was a kid. Always saw myself as a little girl, always saw myself as a mother. So it just came naturally. And that love just kept growing. And I love my kids in different ways because they have very different personalities. So they're teaching me so much, but it's just an unexplainable connection and love, a divine love. And that's what motherhood means to me. My mother, for me, growing up, she was my safe space. I saw her go through a lot, and she really embodied not just giving to her children and just being very supportive. And so I naturally took that from her. I do have a mother still to this day that I can go to about anything, everything. There are no boundaries, nothing is off limits. And so she created that picture for me to embody, to be that for my children. Likewise, my grandmother. My grandmother, she was away for most of my childhood, but now she's in my life. And she is a huge part of my children. They love their Gigi. And so we're all in this together. We're my aunt, who I said, my family is small, but we're all close. My sister, we're all close, connected, raising the kids together. They're all our children. My pregnancy I was in a very, very dark space. I was 3 months pregnant when their father passed, when Germaine passed. And I was really looking forward to this pregnancy. We were both looking forward to this pregnancy. He had a very different approach to it too. He was super excited about it, which we didn't really experience with my first son, Jelani. And, we were making progress as a family. And so to just have the rug pulled from under my foot, and I've never experienced death on that capacity before, so it was very new to me. It was like a veil came removed from my face. So my pregnancy, it suffered because other than my son, who was my older son, who I was trying to be strong for him, and I don't like using the term being strong, I was just trying to not let him feel any of the pain that I was feeling. So I was really trying to make sure he was okay and doing what I had to do for him. But my pregnancy itself, when outside of my son, I was really suffering. I was really in a dark place, and I almost somewhat neglected the pregnancy because it was me. I just wasn't in a good space. I wasn't doing what I had to do in terms of just being physically well and, doing doctor visits and just taking care of myself to take care of the baby, because I just wasn't there. And so my pregnancy did suffer. Gemari actually is a miracle pregnancy because he was born healthy, but to be very transparent, I did not go to the doctor until 8 months pregnant. So at that point, nobody wanted to see me. Nobody wanted to take on such a late pregnancy in terms of the doctors. When I finally got a doctor to take me on, of course, there were complications, and I wouldn't have known because I hadn't been seeing a doctor. The complications were pretty severe. There was indications that there was a lot going on with him, and the baby just wasn't okay. I didn't do anything in terms of, I was just in such a dark space, but that was kind of what gave me the wake-up call. And at that point, there was nothing I could have physically done. All I knew to do was pray. And just to prayer, family prayer, that's what really turned that pregnancy around, and that was my wake-up call to really get it together and be what I have to be for my children, get into a different mental space.
In teaching your sons to be great men like their dad, how do you reinforce certain lessons that maybe you think that he would have taught them, and reinforce this in your daily interactions with them?
Okay, so I wouldn't say it's a daily reinforcement. We do share a lot of the same principles. I mean, you do have that in common with your partner. So we do share a lot of the same principles. When you look back, you realize when you lose somebody and you look back, conversations mean so much more to you. And there's so much to pick from conversations, even when they weren't intentional conversations. So there's so much I know we would share about raising kids, just in everyday talking, everyday conversation. So I do know a lot of what he would want to instill in them, which, as I said, are very similar to my values and my principles. So they kind of come natural, just coming from me. In terms of being like him, I try. My sons, I try to, get them into sports. My oldest son, forget about it. He's not into sports. So that's through the roof. But the thing is, Germaine passed when he was 5, so he knew that we were already on that path. And so we were pretty hopeful that the second child coming, that he was going to be into sports. And so happens that he's only 4 now, but he is showing a lot of interest into sports. I actually showed him, well, we've been showing him, videos of his dad whenever he asks. And the first time I showed him some high jump videos, he literally started jumping, doing that backflip over the chair. It was really something to see, because who knew a 4-year-old? I mean, he's not it was really something to see, just his first attempt. So he naturally has that talent. So I'm trying to, groom that and, take that and, do something with that, because I know he really wanted his kids to be into sports. So the natural interest is there, so I'm going to play up on that. But other than that, it's just just being fearless. Germaine was pretty fearless in terms of just going after what he wanted and not taking no for an answer, and being very focused on, his goals. And I try to do that with them, as much as I can, being kids. So Germaine has taught me so much in life, and so much more in death. Oh my gosh. To choose one thing, I would say to cancel out the noise and stay focused. Always look at the bigger picture. Always remember my whys, and not to derail from my goals. I know we'd always shared, I've always been pursuing my own businesses, and he has always been very supportive of that. And every time I've ever come up on any kind of roadblocks, he was always very encouraging in terms of not getting distracted, not getting derailed, not getting turned off, by challenges, and specific conversations around that, and just staying focused, not being not being just canceling out the noise. There's always something to say. There's always something that will be said, and there's a reason why I want to do what I want to do, and there's a reason why some things are on my heart. So Shari-Dee time, you know what? I am a simple person, if I say if I say so myself. So a chill day at home is good for me. and not home doing work, just home not doing anything. Just being able to relax and just enjoy some me time. That me time might just be skincare. Skincare will never get boring for me. I'm always down for doing a face mask, doing body scrubs, doing a bath. So taking care of myself, self-care session. I love a good meal. So going out to eat, whether with my boys, because I do love their company, or my family, my family or my friends, going out to eat. And then, on a bigger picture, I do like to travel. I'm just starting to get into traveling. Traveling wasn't really my thing, but I'm now enjoying it. But just on probably weekly basis, just some me time is just some chill time at home, just doing nothing, just relaxing.